Hey, what's good, gang? It's your boy TM Trick coming back at you with another video, guys. And today, as some of you may know, Vampire The Masquerade Bloodhunt, the Battle Royale, just dropped a few days ago in early access on Steam. And honestly, I absolutely love this game. I used to play it a few months back in the early access. I don't know if some of you guys were able to do so. If you did, tell me down in the comments, did you play the alpha, did you not? But what we're going to be doing today, guys, we're going to be hopping into a tier list maker, and I'm going to be giving you guys what my personal tier list of the characters and classes in the game, what I think is the strongest, what I think is the weakest, what I think is in between, because I know there are a lot of new players that may not know, what the meta is or what's strong or, anything like that. So I definitely want to go ahead and give that to you guys. If you guys have any other differing opinions or you feel like something should have been changed in the tier list, make sure you drop that in the comments as well. I mean, let me know what you guys think. If you do enjoy the video, make sure you smash that like button and hit the subscribe button as well with the notification bell on so you know every time that I upload a new video. And with that being said, guys, let's hop into it. Alright, so boom, here we are. We've loaded up into the tier maker here, and we have all of the 3 families with the 6 classes. And we're just going to be going one by one, and I'm going to give a list of why I think some characters or abilities might be better than others. And yeah, so starting off with the Brute, this is a great class in my opinion. I think if I were to rank the families or the clans from best to worst, or which one I think is the best clan, I would honestly put Bruja at a nice, like a solid second. I think in terms of the clan, my clan tier list would probably go Nosferatu, then Bruja, and Siren, or the Toreador at third. And I'll get into why I think that in a minute. But starting off for Brute, I am going to be placing the Brute into the OK category. Now, the reason why I do that is because of the fact that the Brute, since he does belong to the Bruja clan, that means that he has access to the Bruja clan skill, which that means is the Big Leap. I forget the exact name of it, but basically he has a leaping ability. That's his movement ability. It's a strong leap that'll send you forward. It's a great movement ability. Cool. That's 1+ for the Brute. Now, his passive skill allows him to regen whilst not getting hit, which is also it's a great passive skill. But he's only allowed to regen half of his HP, and obviously you have to not be, getting hit. So this is a great ability to have if maybe you're in a chase, like somebody's chasing you, you just took damage, but they can't really hit you, or you're able to duck and dodge. When that timer does run out and the skill does come up, you will be healing passively while you're running away, so you don't have to stop your movement to pop maybe a syringe or something like that. So that's great. Now, his archetype skill is the force field, or basically he sends out a shockwave that will block bullets that are incoming, and it like kind of pushes out forward in front of him. And the reason why this is a great ability on paper, but the reason why I have him in OK tier is because this ability is very easy to play around. I feel like if you are, playing against a Brute, I feel like this is a pretty simple ability to play around. If you're shooting at somebody and they just throw out their force field, you just stop shooting, you can sidestep it, you can use a movement ability, and then continue shooting right back at them again. It really is only a minor inconvenience to you sometimes. Now, this is not to say that this is a completely useless ability, because I definitely have seen some good uses of this ability, and it has, gotten me, myself out of some sticky situations personally. So I definitely just have him at a solid mid tier. I don't think he's, insanely good. I don't think he's insanely bad. I just think he's like right there in the middle, which I feel like is a pretty good rating. Now, on to the Muse. Now, I actually am going to give you guys 2 different rankings. First, I'm running through what I feel like, or how good I feel the class is in solo play, and then we will go to group play after, because I do have differing opinions based on the mode that we're playing. But for right now, we're talking about solo play. So in terms of solo play, the Muse is, unfortunately, in my opinion, going to be in the bad category. Now, you know, the reason for this is that almost every other character on this list has some sort of combat skill or something that's going to better their offensive, whether it be recon, whether it be some sort of crowd control, some sort of stun, some sort of flash. You know, they have, you know, passive skills that are going to further their offensive or better their combat in solo play. Whereas the Muse, she doesn't really get this. So the Muse, she her passive, or first off, she gets the clan skill, which is projection dash or projection slash dash, whatever you want to call it, and she sends out a clone of herself, and then she's able to teleport to that clone. Now you can use this to mislead people. You can throw it out and it'll bait them to look up there, or you know, you can just use it as an escape tool. But that's a great ability. I feel like that movement ability on the Muse is great. Now my issue with the Muse is that, like I said, she has no combat skills whatsoever. In a solo scenario, this is not going to really ever help her when she's in a one-on-one fight. So when a Muse is fighting someone, her heal is a channeling heal that only heals a certain percent of her HP, and then it is stopped the second that she is hit by any damage. The second Muse takes damage, her ability immediately stops channeling, and it's on cooldown. And then her passive skill, she's basically able to refresh her skills and use them whilst on the floor. Now, she can heal while she's on the ground, and she can teleport while she's on the ground. Now, this is only a minuscule advantage, you know, being able to teleport your body away to maybe get off a res is really good, but again, that heal just really doesn't do anything for you in a combat, you know, one-on-one situation in solo play. So that's why I have to have her at bad tier for solo play. I do want to preface that just because of the fact that, you know, without a team backing her up, without a team to take advantage of these heals, without, you know, other players supporting you so you can play this support role, you're basically just a you know, an empty character with a teleport ability. That's basically all she is. She has basically no abilities. It's almost as if you're playing just a character with no abilities and just a gun. So that's why I have her there. Moving on to the Prowler. Now, the Prowler, the Prowler, in my opinion, is going to be meta. Now, when I played the alpha, this character was in every single game. I mean, it was an overwhelming amount of Nosferatu players during the alpha. Like, I mean, pretty much everyone is playing Nosferatu. You got into every lobby, and the majority of all players in those lobbies were playing Nosferatu. But the reason why I put the Prowler in this meta category is for two reasons. One, she has the Nosferatu clan skill Vanish, which in my opinion is the best movement ability in this game. And the reason why I say this is because not only do you go invisible for a short amount of time, you gain an increased amount of movement speed. This is quite high amount of movement speed. Not only that, but you are able to interact with everything whilst you're in this invisible and increased movement state. So I mean, I could go in and I could start shooting at somebody. I could get, you know, get into a gunfight with someone, and if I drop low or I miss my bullets and I need to reload, I can just pop this Vanish skill, and I'm able to reload my weapons while in this Vanish state. I'm able to pick up ammo. I'm able to pick up guns. I'm able to climb, interact. I'm able to heal. As far as I'm concerned, I believe that was in the alpha. I haven't played Nosferatu lately since the game has been out today, but as far as I know, you are able to heal whilst in this Vanish state as well, which is very huge. So that alone, that ability is very, very strong. I definitely believe it's the best movement ability in the game. Now, moving on to her passive skill. Her passive skill allows the Prowler to scout out basically where injured players are. So there's going to be these red streaks or red little auras that are going to track and follow the enemy player that is wounded severely. So this is great because of how fast-paced the game is, and how much movement there is, but also the fact that the game is pretty dark. It's a very dark game, so it's very easy to lose track of players when they're running around, there's other people shooting at you, etc., etc. So being able to have this steady track on someone that is low HP is gonna definitely put this class above the rest. And we haven't even gotten to her archetype skill. So the archetype skill, that is going to be, I think it's called Search for Famulus, I believe is the name of it. And she sends out a squad, or like a little group of bats that are going to scout a certain location. So they're going to sit on one location, and it's basically a recon that it will reveal players through walls, which is an insane skill already in this game. I mean, not only is she tracking you if you're low HP, able to track you through walls. This is extremely good for regular fights, but not only that, but late game fights. In the late game, a lot of times players are playing a lot more slow. Players on top of buildings, they're waiting for other players to jump out and make the first move, so they can third party, etc. So with this scouting ability, it allows you to get a good area on the map kind of locked down and be able to scout freely without any repercussions, because you can just throw this out for free, whenever it's on, once it's off cooldown with, there's no consequence for doing so. So that's why I have the Prowler at meta. I definitely believe this character can kind of do it all, and pretty much has all the tools you need to win the game. She's definitely a great character, a great class. That's why she is up there. Now on to her counterpart, the Sabotar. Sabotar is a pretty mediocre class in my opinion. I would honestly put the Saboteur in okay. And the reason I say this is because honestly, if the Saboteur was a part of a different class, like if he was like a part of a different clan, like if he was maybe a Toreador or something, I would honestly have him down here in bad. And the reason why I say that is because his clan skill gives him bonus points. That vanish skill is very good, so that's a plus. Now, where I start to have a problem with the Saboteur is that his passive skill allows you to go slightly invisible. You're still visible, but you're a little bit more hidden. You're in a semi-invisible state when you crouch. Now, from experience, there's almost never a time where you're gonna really be crouching around the map unless you're like new to the game and you're like you don't really know what's going on, or it's like end circle and there's multiple teams around you. You're just trying to like stay stealthy, keep on your side of the map so people don't find you. Now in that scenario, this class is decent, or that passive skill is decent, but that's not an everyday scenario, and that's like 1% of the game, you know what I mean? So I don't feel that his passive skill is very strong at all. It doesn't have any practical use in a gunfight. It doesn't have any use for recon or anything outside of being semi-stealthy, to which case you can still be seen, especially if someone is playing the Prowler, for example. If you're playing against a Prowler, that semi-invisible state is going to do nothing for you. If you're low HP, she will still be able to track you even when you're crouching. If she pops her ability on you, she will be able to see you through walls. So that passive skill doesn't really do a whole lot for you in the long run, especially against experienced players. And then the archetype skill is this gas bomb that he's able to plant. And when somebody walks over it, they will spawn a cloud of gas similar to the same gas that you would get from the crossbow. And this gas is a pretty mediocre ability, and the reason why I say this is it requires setup, which in a game fast paced like this you don't really have a whole lot of time to be trying to set up traps in a perfect position. But outside of that, even if, let's say, you are able to get this bomb off consistently, or get this bomb in a good spot where somebody's going to run over it, it doesn't do enough damage or tick hard enough to make it something that people see as a threat. I've played Sabotar countless times where I'm in a game and somebody walks over my trap and they just walk right through it. Like it doesn't even phase them. I think it ticks for like barely anything, and they will just walk right through it. Now, yeah, will it give you like a slight HP advantage because they hit that trap? Yes. Is it something that is really going to change the tide of the battle? Probably not. So that's why I have this Sabotar in the OK category. I mean, he does have a damaging ability. It's just not something that really changes up the game, in my opinion. Now, on to the Siren. This is my favorite class in the game. This is the class that I prefer to play. So I'll try not to be biased. But I'm going to put the Siren in the great category. And the reason why I say this is because obviously he has the projection dash teleport ability, which is a great ability. But not only that, his passive skill is a lot better than I feel like people actually understand. With this ability, his passive skill allows you to charm humans that are on the street. So when you drop down and you have your resonance humans that are next to a crowd of, let's say, other humans that are not resonance, right? Or, you want to be able to get as many resonances off in the early game, I feel like, especially on this class, because you want to get, cooldown reduction on your teleport. You want to get cooldown reduction on your ability. And so you want to be able to get off your resonance very fast. And with this charm ability that forces the humans to become friendly with you and they do not reveal you, or you do not become blood hunted when you eat a human in front of them, this allows you to not worry so much about your placement. When you do this, you're able to just kind of walk out in the open and get a resonance, right? So this allows you to stack those resonances really fast. And then his archetype skill is, it's basically, he erupts in like this white flashbang almost, where you do have to be in a certain range of them and you do have to kind of get close to them, and but when you do get it off, it basically blinds their whole screen. You know what I mean? They can still kind of see you, but it is quite hard to see them. And that gives you so much time to just get shots off and like destroy that person. Like, you can literally take somebody from 100 to 0 like instantly after you've stunned them. Now, the only downside to this ability, I will say, is going to be that charge up time. But obviously they need some sort of balancing to it. But the charge up time can be your worst enemy sometimes, due to the fact that a lot of times enemies are able to shoot at you or get off a lot of shots while you're charging up, and you'll be half HP by the time you finish that shockwave, and then they're just firing willy-nilly, and they kill you by accident or by luck, or you got the one guy that's across the map and he's third partying you guys, right? And you're stuck in that animation, so you can't do anything. So that's probably the only downside I'd say, but I still think overall the Siren is a great class, and definitely one to look out for. Now, we're up to the last one, and this is the Vandal, and I'm going to go ahead and put the Vandal in the great tier as well. Now, the Vandal is a very offensive class. He's very up in your face. This class is very just in your grill, but I like that about this character. So, with this, you have a lot of mobility. You have the super jump from the clan skill, and then his passive ability is that I believe he has increased resistances while he's in a certain proximity. So when he's in like close range, he has increased resistance, which is really good. And obviously it gives you a little bit more survivability. Not only that, his archetype skill is basically this like dash where he dashes forward and he'll punch the ground and he'll knock up and deal damage to any person that's in front of him. So when you pair this with something like a shotgun, like a double barrel shotgun or a melee weapon, this is like very deadly in my opinion, because he's gonna jump out and you can dash right after your super jump. So like he's halfway across the map, he's gonna jump, dash onto you. He's going to knock you up. He's going to double barrel you 2 times. You're dead. And, even if you're shooting him while he's coming at you, when he gets into that certain range, he has those reduced, or those increased, rather, resistances. So that's going to give him, a very tanky-like feel whilst able to deal out a lot of damage very fast. So that's why I have the Vandal up in great. And that concludes my list for solo players. Now, when we're talking about squads, I would honestly, I don't have too many changes that I would make besides, if we're talking about squad play, I would honestly have to drop the Vandal into the OK tier, and I'll explain why in a moment. I'm going to put the Brute up into the great tier, and I'm going to bring the Muse also into the great tier. I don't think in squad play there are very many classes that are very bad due to the fact that you just have a lot of guns. Having teammates to support your weaknesses allows your class to really shine through when you're playing group play. Prowler is not moving. This is the best class in the game by far. Honestly, in my personal opinion. But the reason why I moved the Vandal down and the Brute up, the Vandal is a very good class in one-on-one close quarters combat, but it is very, very easy to dash in as a Vandal player, against a squad and get blown up instantly, because once you're in, there's no getting out as Vandal, right? So if you dash in and you're unable to single someone out, then you're going to literally just get blown up by their team. There's 3 guys that are aiming in on you. You're going to insta-die, like, no contest. Now, the Brute in this scenario is definitely a lot better with his force field to support his team. So, you have a lot of third party that goes on in this game, especially in squads. And if you're fighting one squad, you got a squad behind you that's like sitting up on a rooftop somewhere aiming at you, they're shooting at you. You have the Brute that's there that's able to put up this temporary force field in that direction that's going to stop these incoming bullets that could give you and your team the upper hand to take down that original team that you're fighting. It's going to kind of stop that fire from the third party momentarily, which is very good. The Muse obviously is a lot better in squads because she's able to heal her team. She's able to, heal her team whilst on the ground as well. So even when she's down, she can be useful. That definitely brings her up by a lot, and I definitely feel like that this character needs to be on pretty much every group play team. 9 times out of 10, you would want a Muse in your game. But honestly, guys, that about wraps it up for this tier list video. Like I said, if you do have any differing opinions, make sure you go down in the comments and tell me what you guys think. Tell me what you would have done different, who you would have put where. And with that being said, if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you go ahead and slap a like on this video and hit that subscribe button with notifications on. I do plan on coming out with a lot of new Bloodhunt content, so you want to stay tuned for that and make sure when I upload another video. And yeah, guys, you have a great rest of your day. See ya.